Hello students, in this chapter, in this lecture rather, I will be discussing with you the static VI characteristics of N-channel enhancement MOSFET. Rather, it is the discussion on VI characteristics of MOSFET, and we have considered for this the most general case of N-channel enhancement MOSFET. So to draw this, we have selected two axes. Along the x-axis, VDS or drain to source voltage is plotted, and at the along the y-axis, ID or drain current is plotted. Now, like the BJT VI characteristics, you know there is a third parameter always to plot such type of characteristics, and here the third parameter is taken as VGS, which is the gate to source voltage. Now, if we vary the value of VGS from VGS 1, 2, 3 up to VGS 6, we should be getting a family of curves like this. More you go on higher from this voltage axis, the slope of the curve will become steeper. It will go on pointing towards upward direction, and this characteristic will look like the output characteristics of any bipolar junction transistor. It is quite similar. So from this idea, we can say that this VGS is nothing but the controlling parameter to get the this output characteristics from this MOSFET, and this gate to source voltage hence is because of the electric field that has been produced from outside between gate to source, and because of that field this type of drain characteristic, or rather we can say VI characteristics of the MOSFET can be achieved. That's why this type of transistor is called field effect transistor, because the controlling effect is because of an electric field applied between gate to source, and that is driving us towards finding or achieving an output like this, an output characteristic like this. That's why the field effect name has come. So the controlling parameter is this VGS. So it gives us the field effect idea of field effect here. Okay, so now in this case, the unit of VDS is volt and unit of ID is milliampere. Now, since it is a N-channel enhancement MOSFET, so we can say that the minimum value, you know now what is the minimum value for conduction by the channel or conduction by the device is called threshold voltage, and that is the minimum value that should be taken by the VGS, that is the gate to source voltage. So here this VGS1, which is the minimum of all these values, this should be termed as VGS TH. So this is the threshold value or minimum value for the gate gate field or the input gate to source voltage to be at such a level, to be at such a value, so that the minimum channel conduction may take place for flowing of drain current in the output circuit. So now if we go on increasing this value in positive direction, so suppose this is having a finite value, this VGS1, now this VGS2 is suppose plus 5 volt, VGS3 is plus 10 volt, and so on. VGS4 is plus 15 volt, and so on. That means we are positively increasing upwards and we are getting the drain current increases. So that means for an N-channel enhancement MOSFET, as we increase positively the gate to source voltage, we should be getting the more drain current. So the family of curves will go on increasing in the upward direction. So this is the operation of the small signal enhancement MOSFET. So this is the operation of VI characteristics for small signal E MOSFET, obviously of N channel. Had it been a P channel MOSFET, then these voltages would have been negative. That means we should be just the polarity will be opposite. We should be going upward with a negatively increasing voltage value. That means if it is plus 5 volt, then if it is minus 5 volt, then this is minus 10 volt, this is minus 15 volt, and so on. That means if we negatively increase upward, it should be a p channel MOSFET. If it is positively moving upward, means positively increasing upward, it should be an n channel MOSFET. So one thing we have already seen that in the last lecture, that the n channel, the drain characteristics of n channel MOSFET can be found, which may be operated in either enhancement or depletion mode. So in the same diagram, we can also draw the enhancement mode which is occurring for positive values of VGS, and the depletion mode occurring for negative values of VGS. So let us see, because in this same diagram, this is the n channel enhancement mode diagram, and here we can see that the enhancement is happening, because more we are increasing the positive gate to source voltage, we are able to increase the drain current. So the enhancement is occurring over here. But if we want to draw the depletion mode of operation in the same characteristic curve, so let us see how that can happen. So let us draw this diagram afresh to understand the at the same VI, using the same VI characteristics, how the enhancement and depletion regions can be shown. So this is VDS, this is ID along these two, and the characteristic curve will be like this. Now suppose this is ID in milliampere and this is VDS in volts. Now all this side is VGS. This is VGS equal to 0 volt. This is VGS 1. Now if we go on increasing upward, suppose this is VGS 2, this is VGS 3, and this is VGS 4. We have already seen, if we increase positively upward, that means this is 0 volt, this is plus 5 volt, plus 10 volt, this is plus 15 volt. That means from this level of VGS equal to 0 volt, this level of curve, if we go on increasing positively the gate to source voltage, this is the region where it is observed that enhancement is happening. So enhancement region. So this, in the VI characteristics, this will be called the enhancement region. But what happens when we are increasing in the opposite direction? That means we are increasing in negative direction. If this side is considered increasing in positive direction, let us suppose in the bottom side it is increasing in the negative direction. So this is VGS minus 1, which is suppose minus 5 volt, and for this it is VGS minus 2, which is suppose minus 10 volt. So as we go on increasing negatively in the downward direction from this level of VGS equal to 0 volt, we will be seeing that more and more negative voltage is applied between gate and source. More and more the depletion layer width inside the channel will be increased, reducing the channel width, and as a result of that the conductivity of the channel will be decreased, and that will in turn decrease the amount of drain current. So therefore you can see in the diagram that the family of curves is coming down, it is going downward. So from this level of VGS1 equal to 0 volt, if you go downward, increasing negatively increasing the VGS value, then you can find or you can observe the depletion region, or the region of depletion mode of operation from there. So this is enhancement mode region above this VGS equal to 0 volt curve, and below this it is the depletion mode of operation region. So in this way we can explain with the same VI characteristics both the enhancement and depletion mode of operation for an n-channel enhancement MOSFET. But this is not possible for a normal p-channel enhancement MOSFET. This is rather difficult to explain. So the n-channel MOSFET is much more preferred for this convenience of explanation. Now let us go back to this value of VGS TH, that is the VGS threshold value, that is the minimum value for conduction by the channel. So considering this VGS threshold value or VGS TH value, considering this curve VGS1, we can say that when the input voltage between gate to source is less than this VGS threshold value, the drain current is approximately 0. So you can see that it is almost the particular drain current curve, which is this one, it is almost grazing the voltage axis. That means the current value this much, it is almost 0, very negligible. So it establishes from the VI characteristic that the minimum value of voltage between gate to source is required equal to the threshold value for device to conduct drain current in the external circuit. So we can conclude draw a conclusion from here that when VGS is greater than VGS TH, the device turns on and the drain current is controlled by the gate voltage thereafter. If it is increased in positive direction, that means enhancement could be observed in the device. Now in this, if we further analyze the almost vertical part of the graph, that means this region which is almost vertical, this region, or rather we can say this region, is called the ohmic region. This is nothing but the ohmic region because it looks like a linear of characteristics. This region resembles a straight line. It is quite a linear part of the characteristic, and that's why Ohm's law can be applied to explain the operation of the device at this region. So that's why this region is called ohmic region, and this region is quite almost parallel to the current axis, we can say almost vertical, and the almost horizontal part is the active region. So these are the two major regions that can be described in this VI characteristics. So the almost vertical region is the ohmic region, and this region, once this verticality is over and the curve is bending to become horizontal with the voltage axis, so this horizontal part of the VI characteristics parallel to this voltage axis describes the active region of operation of the MOSFET. So these are the two main regions of operation. One is ohmic region and another is active region of operation of MOSFET in terms of its VI characteristics. Now when biased in the ohmic region, the enhancement MOSFET is equivalent to a resistor, because you know that resistance is a linear element and follows Ohm's law, and Ohm's law can be applied to a linear circuit. So since while working in this ohmic region, we can say the equivalence of MOSFET can be emulated like a resistor. So MOSFET, operation of MOSFET can be equivalent to a resistor. It is where in ohmic region. So this is one thing. So and also when biased in active region, that is this horizontal part of the characteristics, we can say that it is equivalent, the MOSFET will be working equivalent to a current source. So MOSFET is equivalent to a current source. Of constant value in active region, because you can see that as you go on increasing, because the characteristics will be flat or parallel to the voltage axis, so it will become independent of the increase or decrease of voltage. So as you go on increasing or decreasing the voltage in the active region, you can get a constant value of drain current out of it. So we can say in the active region the MOSFET is quite like a constant current source. So these are the two equivalents and the explanation of the two different regions of the VI characteristics of MOSFET and its working. Although the enhancement MOSFET can operate in the active region, the main use of the MOSFET is found to be in the ohmic region. Now let us see the next one, which is the transfer characteristics of MOSFET. Transfer characteristics of the MOSFET. Alternately, it is called transconductance curve. The curve that is being obtained by from the transfer characteristics is called transconductance curve. The transfer characteristic of an enhancement MOSFET, whether it is P channel or N channel, it can be drawn like this. Suppose we consider as a N channel enhancement MOSFET, E MOSFET. Now I have already told in the one of last lecture that the transfer means something is applied at the input and the result of its influence is observed or it is felt at the output. So that means whatever is there at the input being transferred in some other way at the output. So in that case, to draw a transfer characteristics, we need to select two such parameters, of which one should be an input parameter, whatever voltage or current, and another should be an output parameter. If the input is selected as a voltage, the output should be obviously a current, or if input is a current, output will be a voltage, and it will be a characteristics between those two. So that will be called a transfer characteristics. Now so let us draw it for N channel enhancement MOSFET. So we are taking two axes first. In the X axis we are taking input voltage, which is VGS, gate to source voltage. So this is my input voltage in this case. And in the Y axis we are taking drain current ID in milliampere. That means this is the output current. So since we have taken two such parameters and the characteristic is being plotted between input voltage versus output current, since the characteristic is plotted between these two, input voltage versus output current, this will be called a transfer characteristics. That means, why this name? That means this input voltage is in some way being reflected or transferred to the output in such a way that its influence is measured by the magnitude of the or the behavior of the output current. That means input to output, input versus input means if it is input and it is also input, input versus input means it is input characteristics, output versus output means it is output characteristics, but input versus output means it is transfer characteristics. So this is absolutely clear as per the nomenclature is concerned. So now we have the two axes like this, ID versus VGS. Now the transfer characteristic will look like, it will start from here almost touching this voltage axis at this second quadrant, it will intersect at this point the current axis, and it will go on increasing exponentially. So now let us explain. First of all, let us see this side, let us see the scale. So then only it will be better to explain. In the positive voltage axis, this is 0, this is suppose 1, this is 2, this is 3. So it is positively increasing the VGS in the right direction along this voltage axis. Along the left direction, this is -1, -2, that means it is decreasing that or negatively increasing in the left direction, the gate to source voltage. So we have seen that if we increase the VGS in positive direction, just we have seen in the last VI characteristic, we have seen that if we increase in positive direction the VGS, the current increases. So here in the right direction we are increasing, that means here we can see the current is also increasing. That means this is the region in the first quadrant of operation in this transfer characteristic establishes enhancement mode. So the right side is the enhancement mode of the transfer characteristics, and obviously when we are increasing in the negative direction, in the second quadrant, the ID is continuously or exponentially decreasing. So here in the second quadrant it establishes depletion mode. So from the transfer characteristics also, if we select n-channel enhancement MOSFET, we can absolutely explain clearly that the first quadrant will be the enhancement mode of operation and the second quadrant will be the depletion mode of operation. So from the same transfer characteristic we can get the variation of VGS versus ID for both its enhancement mode and depletion mode. Now if we want to draw the same transfer characteristics for a P channel MOSFET, this is P channel we are drawing, P channel E MOSFET, enhancement MOSFET. So obviously in the x axis it is VGS and in the y axis it is ID. So now if we see the drawing, first let us scale. In the right hand column we should be getting a second quadrant also. In the right hand column, since it is P channel, it will be just opposite to the N channel. So in the N channel case, right direction was positive and left direction was negative voltage selected. So here in the right direction we will be selecting negative voltages, -1, -2, -3 and so on, and in the left direction it should be +1, +2 and +3, like this. So just the opposite of N channel case, and the characteristic will look like, and obviously in the previous case for N channel, all the current values were 1, 2, 3, something all with positive values, but here the ID should come as -1, -2, -3, that means all with negative values. So here the ID is for N channel, the ID is greater than 0, but for P channel ID is less than 0, negative. But the characteristics will look like the same like here, but here it is extended quite a lot to the second quadrant, but here in this case for P channel it will not extend into the second quadrant that much more. It will only start little bit slightly from here, then it will intersect the current axis or the y axis and increase exponentially in the first quadrant. So here also in the P channel MOSFET we can be able to explain the transfer characteristic as well. So here it is evident that the drain current ID at VGS greater than equal to 0 is very small in case of P channel MOSFET. This current is typically of value of few nanoamperes. Now if we increase in the negative VGS, then ID increases slowly initially, then it increases rapidly. So if we compare these two characteristics, we will be seeing that the corresponding drain current for P channel case at the second quadrant will be quite small with respect to N channel, and it should be in the range of nanoamperes. So that's why the N channel devices are far more preferable also. This is one of the reasons. The manufacturers, when you go for the design of the circuits using MOSFETs, the manufacturers often specify in their data sheet the gate to source threshold voltage, which is, I have already told you, denoted by VGS TH or VT in some cases, at which the ID attains some specified low value, and that should be mentioned as a specification for the data sheets working with data sheets of MOSFET. The typical value of the threshold voltage is -4 volt for a p channel MOSFET. So this p channel MOSFET may give you a threshold voltage of VGS as -4 volt. So this should be a typical value. For example, now let us see the typical transconductance curve from where we can explain the active and ohmic region. So typical transconductance curve, which will be a modified form of this characteristic, typical transconductance curve will be look like this. So from here also we can specify the ohmic and active region. So take the two axes. In the x axis it is VGS once again, and in the y axis it is ID once again. Now one thing, before going into this typical transconductance curve, I would like to specify one thing. When you are drawing the transfer characteristics of VGS versus ID, the VDS, that is the third parameter in this case, should be VDS, that is drain to source voltage. It should be considered as the third parameter. In case of static characteristics, we have found the third parameter is VGS and the plot is VDS versus ID. But in case of transfer characteristics, the third parameter is VDS, that is drain to source voltage, and the plot is between VGS and ID. Okay, so now here in the modified form of this transconductance curve, it will look like something like this, where this first voltage, this value is the threshold voltage of VGS, because it is on the VGS axis and it is the minimum value to be given between gate to source so that the channel can be made conductive or device can conduct. And the region which is just increasing within these two part, that means it is increasing exponentially, is the active region. So this portion is the active region. It will increase exponentially to such a value that is maximum for current, because beyond that, if you increase the gate to source voltage, there will be no influence on the conductivity of the device. So this maximum value will be called the saturation drain current, denoted by ID sat. That means in the active region, starting from the minimum threshold value between gate to source, the device will conduct exponentially and the current device conducts, and the current ID will be increasing exponentially up to a maximum value given by ID sat. That means this is the saturation drain current value, and that region between them, this VGS threshold and ID sat, this exponential character will be depicting the active region of operation in transconductance curve. But when this ID sat value is achieved, as you go on further increasing the VGS, the characteristic will become parallel to VGS or the voltage axis. That means it will become independent of the voltage value or the input voltage value or independent field. So this region of operation, when the curve is becoming parallel to voltage axis or flat, this region of operation is called ohmic region of operation. And this voltage value in the ohmic region of operation will give you this corresponding particular voltage value will be called VGS on. That means it will be depicting the on state of MOSFET. Okay, so and between this point from 0 to up to this VGS threshold, you can see there is no curve at all. That means below this threshold value of VGS, there will be no conduction by the device, and the channel will not be conducive for conduction, because you have not still applied the minimum threshold value required for conduction. Okay, Let us now move on to the next thing, the circuit symbol, schematic symbol or the circuit symbol of MOSFET. How does it look like? Now, the circuit symbol is typical for the MOSFETs. First, let us draw the E-MOSFET symbols, EMOS or enhancement MOS symbols for N channel and for P channel. So, this will be something the symbols will look like. The left one is N channel device and the right one is P channel device. Now, when VGS equal to 0, you know that when threshold voltage is not given at the input between the gate and source, the enhancement MOSFET is generally remains in off condition, because there is no conducting channel between source and drain, because the channel for an enhancement MOSFET, you know, it naturally occurs. There is no pre-existing diffused channel. So that natural occurrence of channel is not possible till the time you are applying the minimum threshold voltage between the gate and source. So because of no channel, there will be no conduction and the MOSFET will be in off condition. So from this schematic symbol you can see that it has a broken channel line to indicate this normally off condition. This broken line, you can see the broken line over here for N channel and P channel, both cases. This line is broken, and broken line means it indicates the off condition of the device. So these broken lines indicates the off condition of the device. This off condition can be well explained because of VGS equal to 0 in case of enhancement MOSFET. So off conditions when VGS equal to 0. So a gate voltage is greater than the threshold voltage creates an N-type inversion layer. You know now from the last lecture that when the threshold voltage is overcome by the application of more voltage between gate and source over the threshold condition, the N-type inversion layer is created in an enhancement MOSFET that connects the source to drain. Okay, and in that case the MOSFET may come in on condition. The arrow points to this inversion layer, the creation of this inversion layer to which the arrow points. That means this is the arrow, particular arrow. It is points to that inversion layer which acts like an N channel when the device is conducting, or whatever it may be, P channel for P channel MOSFET. Now, so we can see that the arrowhead for an N channel MOSFET is indicating or directing inward, and the arrowhead for P channel is indicating outward. That means this is the direction of the creation of inversion layer because of the corresponding polarity of gate to source voltage at the gate terminal. So this is the circuit symbol for enhancement mode MOSFET. Now if we want to draw the depletion mode MOSFET, we may not be showing this broken line. We can use this as a bold line. That means to show MOSFETs in depletion mode, we can use this bold line as well, something like this, something like this. This is gate, this is drain, and this side is source. I can also mention it here. This is gate, this is drain, this is source, gate, drain, source. Now when it comes to the depletion type, this broken line will be replaced by a solid line, and this inside arrow or inward arrow. So this is one, another is this one. The arrow pointing outward. This side is drain, this side is gate, and the other side is source. So when it is pointing inward, that means it is P channel, sorry, it is N channel, because we have seen like this, only the broken line is replaced by a solid line, and these two are symbols for depletion MOSFET and or DMOS, and the broken line indicates it as EMOS, and the arrow inside pointing inward, it is N channel, and the arrow pointing outward in this symbol, it is P channel. So these are the circuit symbols for different MOSFETs. Let us now see the ohmic region of operation of MOSFET. Although the E-MOSFET can be biased in the active region, but this is seldom used because it is primarily a switching device. As you have seen that below a voltage of VGS threshold, the MOSFET turns off. That means MOSFET, the enhancement MOSFET especially, will not be able to produce the channel for conduction, and hence there will be no flow of drain current ID below this threshold voltage. And over and above this threshold voltage, that means for a voltage greater than equal to this threshold voltage, that means for VGS, applied VGS applied greater than equal to this VGS threshold, then only the device can be able to produce or create the inversion layer between the drain and source, and thereby the device become conductive, and the channel conduction starts within the channel, and the drain current is flown. So this is why we can say that MOSFET can work as a switch. It's MOSFET as a switch. It is a very good switch, we can say, because of this fact. And so and because of this, of its primarily switching device action of MOSFET, the region of operation in the active area or the active part in the VI characteristics is very seldom used, but the region of operation in the ohmic region is far more prominent for case of MOSFET. The typical input voltage of either low or high value can be specified, and that can be of 0 volt for low case and high voltage for VGS on. That means the on state of MOSFET denoted by VGS on, that can be called the high value. That means you know already for a switch it is having two states, off and on, and typically we may specify that 0 volt as the low switching level and the VGS on, which is the on state of the MOSFET, as the high switching level. We can specify for its switching action, so that the MOSFET can be called to act as a switch. Now these values can be specified on the specifications or the data sheets of the MOSFET. Now let us find another important thing, which is drain to source resistance, VDS. Let us specify another parameter, drain to source resistance. It is an important parameter of any MOSFET, rather we can say of any FET device. When an E-MOSFET is biased in the ohmic region, it is equivalent to be working as a resistance of value denoted by RDS on. That means drain to source on resistance. It is called drain to source on resistance. Why this can be specified? Because you know, in the ohmic region it follows Ohm's law, that means everything is linear about the characteristic, and so resistance can be better explained as a linear element. So we can say the while working in the ohmic region, the MOSFET will be working like a resistor having a value specified as or denoted by RDS on. Now now let us draw a particular diagram to understand the value of RDS. Suppose this is VDS and this is ID, and this is the characteristic curve. Now if we specify this area, suppose this is having a value of voltage and this is having a corresponding value of current, so this is VDS on value and this is ID on value, the corresponding drain current value, okay, in this linear portion of the curve. And suppose this point is called as a test point, at which this coordinate of this point is specified as VDS on comma ID on. So at this test point we can say that also there is the third parameter VGS that can also be specified as VGS on, when in this rather characteristics we can specify this third parameter VGS equal to VGS on based on this flat nature of this characteristic curve. That means when this curve is becoming flat with this voltage axis. So according to this test point in the ohmic region of the VGS equal to VGS on curve, we can specify the two values ID on and VDS on, and from here we can calculate the resistance RDS on, which is given as these two test point values VDS on divided by ID on. That means it is the ratio of voltage and current at on state, and you know the ratio of V and D is nothing but resistance from Ohm's law, and this is happening because we have considered the region of operation to be confined at the linear portion only, or the ohmic region only. So from here we can specify that the enhancement MOSFET has a low resistance when biased in the ohmic region. That means in this region we are observing that the current is quite increasing, and current is increasing means it is obviously providing low resistance. The MOSFET is providing low resistance offering at this ohmic region, and that's why the current is increasing, actually the drain current. And when biased in at cutoff, that means at less than the VGS threshold value, it has a very high resistance. So in this case, when the on resistance is calculated, so it is indicating the on state of the MOSFET. But when the VGS equal to VGS on, this on voltage is being decreased to be taken under the value of VGS TH. That means at that point immediately the channel will be non-existent, and the device will be immediately coming at the off condition. So off condition of a device means it is offering very high resistance. So at less than VGS threshold, it is off condition, means it is offering very high resistance. So that means it establishes the switching operation of MOSFET. So we can establish from here that the MOSFET can well work as a switch. Now let us see what happens when the biasing in ohmic region in some other way. Okay, let us suppose we are having this circuit, a MOSFET, n channel enhancement MOSFET, where drain resistance is connected over here and VDD is the drain biasing voltage is applied. Let us apply a positive pulse between the gate to source. Source is grounded, so between the gate to source this positive voltage is applied of 10 volt positive pulse, and we can say from here the drain saturation current in this circuit is given by ID sat equal to VDD divided by RD. That means this voltage divided by this resistance, and that is the current which is called the saturation current as of drain current value can be found. So VDD is the drain drain to source biasing voltage, or the drain cutoff voltage, whatever we can say. So if the using this circuit, if this is the equation, so from here we can plot a DC load line for this MOSFET while it is working as a switch. So we can see from this characteristic curve, for a plot between VDS and ID, the intersection at VDS axis is given by VDD, and the intersection at the current axis ID is given by ID sat, or the saturation value. From here you can understand this is the saturation value, the value on the current axis, that point of intersection, this one, and VDD is this point of intersection on the voltage axis. So it is simple. Based on this equation, this load line has been drawn, and from here when we can say that when VGS equal to 0, the Q point, that means no input at the between the gate and source, that means no control voltage, the Q point, the MOSFET will be in off condition. That means the Q point will lie at the lower end of the DC load line. That means it will come down here, the Q point will be lying over here at this point. But for cutoff condition for VGS equal to 0, it will come down to this region. And also when VGS is VGS on, that means when this is satisfied, that means more and more the Q point will go to the upper end of the load line. That means it will go towards the upper, towards this side for VGS on. So we can say that the Q point will move on the DC load line based on the condition VGS equal to 0 or VGS equal to VGS on. VGS on means it is on condition, and VGS equal to 0 means it is off condition. That means the position of the Q point will indicate the working of MOSFET as a switch. Now another important thing from this diagram, from this characteristic curve, is that this Q point is lying below the test point. Test point is shown over here. So test point is the boundary above which it is the active region and below which it is the ohmic region. So we can say if my Q point that is fixed over here is lying below the test point, in as per this characteristic curve, we can say that the device is biased in the ohmic region, and when it is operating in the active region, the test point, the over and above that area of this test point, the device is operating in the active region. Now when the Q point is biased in the ohmic region, we can say the E MOSFET will be satisfying, the working of E MOSFET will be satisfying the condition ID sat less than ID on. That means the saturation current, you can see from this axis, the value of saturation current found from this equation will be less than the on state value of that particular drain current. That means on state value of particular drain current will be found in terms of the active region of operation, and from that value, this value will be a lesser value, which is found from this from this equation against this present Q point condition, which is lying in the ohmic region. So if this equation is satisfied, when VGS is equal to VGS on, when this condition is satisfied, we can say the device is working in ohmic region. That means it will behave as a linear device, and whether whether this MOSFET is operating in the active region or the ohmic region, the equation, this particular equation, will be important. So if we now are having with the values, we can calculate the ID sat value. If we are given the different values to calculate from using this equation, we can get the ID sat value from here if we are having with VDD and RD value. Now if this ID sat is found less than this IDS on, as per this characteristic curve, the IDS on is the upper point and the ID sat is the lower point on this current axis, then we can say that considering VGS equal to VGS on, if this ID sat is less than IDS on, then the device must be biased in ohmic region and it will behave like a small resistor. So this is the primary condition. If this is satisfied, that means if the device is conducting, that means it is in on condition. The primary criteria is its saturation drain current should be found less than the on state current of the device, and if it happens so, then it is confirmed that the device will be is biased in ohmic region and it will behave like a resistor, small resistor. So this is the operation of small signal MOSFET while it is biased in the ohmic region or in the active region. So in the ohmic region it will behave like a resistor, in the active region it will behave like a constant current source. So in this way, considering these all discussions, we can establish that the MOSFET can well behave as a very good electronic semiconductor switch. So that's all we have from this topic. Thank you.